she had passed away. She was gone. Just shock. Like everybody was shocked. Never saw that coming. It was not anything that anybody ever expected, especially from Raelan. She didn't have anything else in her system except for the 2 milligram of fentanyl.
People thought they were buying, the oxycodone or the hydrocodone or whatever, and they ended up buying pills that had fentanyl mixed in it.
People from all walks of life and college kids and young kids, teenagers, thinking they're getting an Adderall at a party or something, and they're just dropping dead.
Hundreds of overdose deaths in South Mississippi linked to fentanyl.
It would not be uncommon at one facility for us to see 3-4 opioid overdoses in one day.
I'm taking you inside the crisis in Mississippi's hardest hit county.
We brought in over 100,000 pills of fentanyl pills just last year, just our unit.
From raw stories of addiction.
He's beside me and he's shaking me. Trisha, wake up, Trisha, wake up.
So you're overdosing.
I was overdosing.
To the front lines of law enforcement's fight against this deadly drug.
And a lot of the overdoses that we get at this point involve fentanyl in some kind of way.
This is Fatal Dose, South Mississippi's fentanyl crisis.
Drug overdose deaths have reached an all-time high.
Tonight, more of the deadly drug fentanyl has been taken off the street.
Fentanyl is killing Americans at an alarming pace. It's hidden in pill form, laced in powders, and pushed by ruthless cartels who are flooding our streets with poison disguised as medicine.
Since the turn of the century, more than 1 million Americans have died from opioid overdose. Countless lives were sent down that deadly road by their doctors.
Roughly around 25 years ago is when we started to see an increase kind of in opioid use across the country.
An epidemic fueled by excessive pain pill prescriptions.
Pain management used to be opioid heavy because largely that was one of the major tools we had.
A nationwide problem that invaded Mississippi. From 2012 to 2017, there were more opioid prescriptions dispensed in Mississippi each year than there were people living in this state.
People were getting prescriptions for anything, and they were getting large quantity prescriptions. That's when we really started seeing a big difference. I mean, our streets were flooded with pills.
Families, communities, and citizens across our country are currently dealing with the worst drug crisis in American history. These overdoses are driven by a massive increase in addiction to prescription painkillers.
Soon, national mandates forced doctors to cut back on the prescription of opioids, but the death toll kept rising.
A lot of it, we think, was from those patients or those people that were seeing their doctors and getting pain pills, and now they're having to go out on the street and get them because they can't get them from their doctors anymore.
Though the federal government cracked down on opioid prescription, the damage had been done. America was addicted to painkillers.
It was almost overnight, when the DEA came down on doctors, and they stopped writing the prescriptions. Pharmacists stopped filling them because they didn't want to get in trouble, and that did nothing for all the people that were stuck with opiate addictions.
How powerful is that addiction to opioids?
Very powerful. Very, very powerful.
Opiate addiction is totally different than anything else that we deal with. It's really scary for us to see what these drugs are doing to people because it's a lifelong battle.
For many, opioid addiction is an itch that needs to be scratched at any cost.
At first it was heroin. We saw a lot of heroin overdose kind of uptick after that. And then when that really wasn't readily available anymore, that's when the fentanyl started to flood in.
From 2021 to 2023, more than 900 Mississippians died of suspected opioid overdose. A quarter of those deaths happened in Harrison County.
People from all walks of life and college kids and young kids, teenagers.
Regular, everyday people like Trisha Holloman. What is it about those pain medications that drew you in?
You don't feel anything. You're numb. And it makes the pain go away, but then once you run out, it just hurts your body, like completely, and then you want more.
This is Trisha and her 3 kids, their faces wide with smiles. But behind their happiness is a tough life, one that almost left these kids without a mom. But Trisha didn't wake up one day and decide to be an opioid addict. It started at a young age, about 11 years old, when she and her mom were in a car crash that nearly flung them off a bridge.
It was scary.
That had to be traumatizing.
Yeah, it hurt my mom pretty bad too.
And you had injuries from that?
Yes, and my back injuries.
That back injury slowly took over Trisha's life. Little did she know it would lead to something much, much worse.
After back surgery, I recovered, and then I ended up having to have shoulder surgery, which also came the pain pills. I was going to Alabama to a doctor over there, and she was prescribing me Roxy 30s and Roxy 20s.
That's a lot.
Yes, it's very highly addictive.
Had you taken pills before that?
No.
Experimented, anything like that?
No.
Her doctor, like many across the nation, soon faced that federal mandate to cut back on opioid prescriptions.
Everybody had like Percocets, Roxys, Lortabs, and it was very easy to find. But once they ran out, I would go to something stronger, which was fentanyl.
What was your first experience with fentanyl? Do you remember?
I loved it. It made me feel like I was on cloud nine. It numbed everything, and it lasted longer than a pain pill.
Fentanyl is about 50 to 100 times stronger than the powerful painkiller morphine. Dr. Gregory Patano says it's as common in the medical world as anything else.
It's most commonly used for pain control. It's used in ambulances. It's used as a sedative when people are getting surgeries. So it's a very useful medication, but in the wrong situations, it can be very, very dangerous.
Trisha quickly found out for herself. She said buying fentanyl off the street opened the door for other drugs. And soon, she was mixing heroin with meth, then shooting it up.
Shooting up heroin with meth, is there ever a moment of realization of this might not be good?
Yes.
That moment of clarity happened at a motel. Her friends were hanging out while she was in the bathroom, snorting a line of fentanyl.
I did a line, and when I came back out, I remember having an outer body experience. I could see Justin freaking out, like, Trisha, wake up, and all I see is like a white light coming down.
So you were overdosing?
I was overdosing.
Because it's so powerful, it quickly starts to act. It suppresses the part of the brain that tells you to breathe. They start to get drowsy, or they start to get confused, and then they simply start to slow their breathing, stop their breathing.
Miraculously, Trisha survived the overdose.
Sitting here today and thinking back on that,
I'm very blessed.
Unfortunately, it's an outcome rarely seen with fentanyl. When drug cartels began making counterfeit prescription pills that secretly contained fentanyl, it brought an unprecedented wave of death, one that even caught the Harrison County Narcotics Task Force off guard.
We were sending pills off just thinking they were lower tab or oxys or whatever, and all of a sudden, months down the road, we're getting them back and they're all coming back as fentanyl, and we're thinking, holy smokes. That was around the time we started realizing we've got a major issue here.
People thought they were buying the oxycodone or the hydrocodone or whatever, and they ended up buying pills that had fentanyl mixed in it.
Xanax and lower tabs and Adderall is a big one. I mean, they're putting fentanyl in everything. What's so scary is that, you can have 1,000 pills and you could take 1,000 of them during the course of your addiction and be fine. But all it takes is that one pill and it's got the lethal amount of fentanyl in there and it's over.
Like a game of Russian roulette where the players don't know their finger is on the trigger. Thousands of lives taken with the swallow of a pill. Next, a family relives the trauma of losing their daughter.
The fire department came out and everything else was a blur. She had passed away. She was gone. She didn't have anything else in her system except for the 2 milligram of fentanyl. The last memory I have of Raelan was 2 days before. It was a Sunday. We sat there and we talked and had a really good conversation, and she said, "Mom," she was like, "you didn't tell me goodbye." And she gave me a hug. That is my last memory of her.
This is Raelan Lawhon, one of the many young lives taken by the deadly drug fentanyl. Forever 21, like her grave says.
When she was younger, she loved soccer, dance, and then when she got in high school, she got involved with the choir, theater, and those were her people. She loved that.
And she also loved to fish. She liked to be outdoors too.
She liked to cook.
Oh yeah, she was a fantastic cook. She loved to cook.
Ask any parent and they'll tell you. Blink and suddenly your little babies, well, aren't so little anymore. In December 2021, Raelan had just moved back to the coast after getting out-of-state treatment for depression and an eating disorder.
She was just trying to kind of like find herself again, and so she got her own apartment.
She had been recently talking to a guy. Her friend told me that she said, you need to get your sister. She was looking at Roxy's.
Roxy's, or roxicodone, a strong painkiller. But real roxicodone is rare to find on the street. Instead, fake pills dominate the market, mostly laced with fentanyl. It's something that Raelan probably never thought about on that rainy day in January.
She had an appointment first thing that morning, and then she was scheduled to go to work.
Raelan didn't make it to the appointment. Nothing alarming to her parents, she probably just slept in. But then she wasn't answering her phone.
Usually in the mornings, she would text me or I would text her, and she didn't respond. So I waited a while, I said, well, and I tried calling and she never answered her phone. I called Sabrina, I said, something's up.
Sabrina left to go check on her daughter.
We saw like her lights on in her apartment, and we knocked and knocked and knocked, and we, banged on her window.
What's going through your mind at that point? I mean,
I'm still thinking she's asleep. Maybe that's just like, it was my way of protecting myself from anything.
When management opened Raelan's apartment, Sabrina barely made it through the door. She could see Raelan in bed, and in that moment, she knew.
Never in a million years would I have, really thought, that was going to be reality.
I was in tears. I'm screaming, I'm like, praying and basically asking God, please don't let my daughter be dead. I just went in and I looked at her. I mean, it was like she was asleep.
She had passed away. She was gone. The fire department came out and everything else was a blur.
I ran in there and saw my mom sitting on the couch. I saw my sister's friend sitting there and I was like, what in the world?
Half a pill was left on Raelan's nightstand next to a glass of water. It didn't take an autopsy for Harrison County Coroner Brian Switzer to figure out what happened. It was a death he'd seen countless times before.
He said it looks like she had one pill there, and he said, I believe she thought she was taking oxycodone. He said, but I'm looking at it, he said, that's not an oxycodone.
She didn't realize it was pressed pills, ended up having a lot of fentanyl in it. She only took half of it.
News travels fast in South Mississippi. Soon, those who knew and loved Raelan Lawhon learned of her tragic overdose.
Raelan was so loved. We were all devastated, just shocked. Like everybody was shocked. Never saw that coming. She didn't have anything else in her system except for the 2 milligram of fentanyl. And she didn't know. She had no idea. She would have never taken something that she knew was going to end her life.
How does this young woman with no drug history end up dying from fentanyl? Her mom has a pretty good idea.
She had been with a guy that was doing that, and I think, just trusting him. I did go to the DEA. I went to Gulfport Police, and I gave them as much information as I could because I didn't want this to happen to anybody else.
Was there some anger there?
Oh yeah, very angry, yeah.
When their emotions settled, Patrick and Sabrina needed to take action.
After Raelan passed, it seemed like we were hearing of fentanyl-related deaths one after another, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like we've got to do something.
They put up a billboard on Highway 49, a picture of their beautiful daughter, and a grim message, one that these grieving parents hoped might save a life. Meanwhile, her brother Casey turned his talent into a mission of his own.
I've had my wrap shop for a while. We did something special for my sister. My contribution, I wanted to wrap her casket and make it very pretty.
In the 3.5 years since Raelan's death, Casey now wraps caskets for others who passed away tragically. It's his way of helping grieving families and honoring his sister.
I look at time as like a double-edged sword because time can heal very traumatic events in your life. It's also like a very painful thing because there's things that you want to grasp onto forever, but time creates this huge distance in between it. You know, I'll end up going home and I look at a picture and I'm like, man, I had a sister.
Next, the front lines, on patrol with Harrison County Sheriff K-9 Unit.
Put your hands right here and then spread your feet for me.
Then, an addict's redemption.
I knew if I did not get clean that it was not going to end well.
Meaning?
It's like I was going to kill myself.
A 27-year-old, they're withdrawing from fentanyl and opioids.
Harrison County leads Mississippi in drug overdoses. There's a deadly link connecting many of them together: fentanyl.
We're at the point now we're tired of people just getting away with selling these drugs that are killing people. Sheriff Matt Haley places a big emphasis on narcotics enforcement.
The Sheriff's Office Narcotics Unit is on the front line of that fight. Task Force Lieutenant Brad Aringer has worked these streets for 15 years.
When I wake up every day, you know, and you have to pinch yourself, this is what I get to do for a living. We're out here running drug deals or serving search warrants. It can be a lot of fun. It's also very dangerous.
Just last year, this task force brought in more than 100,000 fentanyl pills.
How does fentanyl get here? What is the chain? Most of it's being produced and manufactured in Mexico. They're getting the straight fentanyl from China over to Mexico, and then that's where they're making a lot of these pills, you know, in these big labs. And then from there, they're packaged and shipped and smuggled over the border.
After that, those shipments are trafficked along interstates and highways, including I-10.
It's a major drug thoroughfare. I mean, it runs right from South Texas all the way up and through up to the East Coast. We've got interdiction guys that are assigned just to drug interdiction on the highway, you know, and then that's their whole role is to work the highway and try to find these guys that are smuggling large quantities of drugs.
Despite their efforts, fentanyl still seeps its way into the community. That's where the sheriff's patrol comes in.
We rely heavily on our proactive patrolmen that get out there, and so many of our cases are derived just from that. You know, a patrolman makes a traffic stop and they end up finding a bunch of fentanyl pills or, you know, counterfeit pills. It, you know, just leads to much bigger cases.
The K-9 division plays a big role in this fight. Trained dogs and their handlers hit the streets every day, looking for these deadly drugs, hoping to save lives.
I have been working in law enforcement since 2015. This October will make 10 years.
This is Deputy Hannah Hendry and her K-9, Azriel. I rode along with them on a chilly December evening.
88 Signal 3. Be right here at Love's with a red Ford Ranger, no tag.
This truck has no tag and is packed full of junk.
Hello, I'm Deputy Hendry. You got your license and insurance on you?
The woman behind the wheel made Deputy Hendry suspicious. Red flags that this law enforcer is trained to spot.
She was just arrested in October for meth. She's got pretty extensive drugs, very nervous. So that's why we're where we're at.
Deputy Hendry didn't have enough probable cause to search the truck, but that's where K-9 Azriel comes in.
Here.
These dogs have an incredible sense of smell. They can detect the faintest odor of narcotics. And it didn't take long for Azriel to pick up on something.
88 Harrison Log, K-9 alert.
It's enough to give Deputy Hendry a legal reason to look through this truck. As you can see, there's a lot to search through. Some pills are found in the container. Nothing illegal, though.
Put your hands right here and then spread your feet for me.
After searching the woman, she's released.
You're good to go. Okay, get you a tag on there so you don't get pulled over.
But Deputy Hendry can't help but wonder, were there in fact drugs hidden somewhere in that truck?
I feel like I missed something.
She's nervous. She is so nervous.
She did not want me in that car.
It's the unknown that haunts this deputy, because every drug seizure could mean a life saved.
The scariest part to me is the part where a lot of times these people have no clue that that's what they're about to ingest. What may look like, you know, Xanax may not be just Xanax. You just never really know.
It's a scary situation that, you know, we're working every day trying to keep our head above water and trying to combat. We're getting to the point now where people are just wanting to use fentanyl, like heroin. I mean, because it's so strong and that's what feeds their addiction.
State laws are helping law enforcement crack down on fentanyl dealers. At the end of June, Harrison County narcotics agents secured an arrest warrant to charge a man for causing a death by selling fentanyl. The statute is covered under something known as Parker's Law.
Parker's Law allows us, another avenue to where if we can prove that this person profited off selling these drugs and knew what they were selling, we can go after them that way.
Parker's Law also incentivizes drug users to call for help when someone is overdosing. The law says if you dial 911, you won't be charged for any drugs at the scene of the overdose. An assurance from the state that saving a life is more important than making an arrest. Remember Trisha Holloman? She's the mother of 3 that overdosed on fentanyl while staying in a motel room with a friend.
Did you call 911, ambulance, anything?
No, we never called 911 or anything. There's a lot of things that happens with fentanyl that people do not report. My case being one.
Miraculously, she survived without any medical intervention. But it wasn't enough of a wake-up call. That clarity came during Christmas 2021. She had enough money saved up for her kids to wake up with presents under the tree. Instead, she spent it on fentanyl.
That Christmas, I told my cousin, I was like, look, if I don't get in rehab, I'm just gonna kill myself. And
why?
Because I was tired of life.
That bad?
It's that bad.
Even though you had your kids and everything?
Yeah, it didn't matter. I was very selfish.
Trisha was determined to change her life around. She eventually got into rehab. And it wasn't easy. She'll be the first to tell you that.
I just had to be patient and be still and understand that, trust the process, because at first I was not wanting to trust it at all. I was just ready to leave.
Is it worth it?
Oh, absolutely.
Now, this mother of 3 has her own house, a good job, and most importantly, a close relationship with her children. Trisha wants others to know it's never too late.
There is hope. And if anybody's struggling, just to reach out. Don't feel ashamed and don't beat yourself up, and it's never too late. There's someone out there to help you.
Fentanyl overdoses are on the decline across South Mississippi. 2024 saw a drop in this deadly trend for the 2nd year in a row. Experts credit life-saving measures like Narcan and rehab treatment. But make no mistake, fentanyl is not going away, and just one dose could be a fatal dose.